Well, next game up, you got IOD versus Never Scared. These teams met up in the regular season. IOD came away with the win, 22-14. That game, we haven't really seen the guys from Never Scared do too much. Fred did throw one touchdown pass, but he had to run in another one.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this team struggle with drops. And on the other side, Buckwheat, Jesus, and Sniz all caught touchdowns. Slasher threw 3 touchdowns. He threw 1 pick. He looked good that game, and that's why they came away with a win.
Well, I'm going to say this. Fred, on his side, he didn't have too much weapons that he had to go to on a regular basis because they were dropping passes left and right this season. I think that they were the main team that had more drops this season than any other team, and that's what killed Fred's game. He had to run a lot in this season, and Fred is not known as a running quarterback. Not to say that he can't, but that's not his game, and he was forced to do it in this season. That shows that their offense had a lot of problems, and it kind of reflects on the record they have.
And IOD, physical team, they picked up Matrix, picked up Buck. And this team is different. You know, they're built to try to get to a championship. They went to 3 straight Final Fours, and now they're trying to get to that round so they can get past that and get to the championship. So this team has a lot on their plate, and they're gonna have to see if they can move on to the next round and get it going. Fred is not going to be here. He's not going to start the game. He's going to get here late. J.O. gets to start. First down, J.O. gets blitzed by Slasher. Throws the beat throw in the middle for a decent gain to the 50-yard line. Last down, J.O.'s next pass, incomplete, turnover on downs, giving it to IOD. Slasher gets to start. Slasher throws the Matrix on the sideline. Ouija misses the tag, and Matrix runs for a decent gain. Third down, Slasher gets blitzed by Just. Throws it to the receiver in the gap. It's incomplete. IOD has to punt. Both teams starting off slow, but on Never Scared's excuse, they don't got their starting quarterback. On IOD's excuse, Slasher threw for them all year, and it's not good looking at them start this way.
Well, one thing you can't sneeze too much at is Never Scared's defense. That's one thing that surprises a lot of teams because they have a good defense that puts pressure on the quarterback and makes it hard for receivers to get open. They're also a physical team, so regardless of what happens on the offensive side, their defense is always here to play, and they always keep games close.
Never Scared at the 5-yard line, first down on 4 rush. Oscar, who's in now for J.O., gets sacked by PJ in the end zone for the safety, giving IOD the 2-0 lead. And now this is looking crazy. They need their quarterback. Both quarterbacks ain't showing that. This is a huge safety on this play.
Well, it hurts Never Scared that much more because I'm sure IOD can fix the mistakes that they make because they've been playing together all season. When you have guys filling in for the quarterback in a playoff game, that hurts because, again, their timing is off.
Then again,
because their timing is off, you know, the person who's quarterback is not actually a quarterback, so they don't understand where they are on the field at any time, and that's why it led to the safety. And if they don't they don't get something going, I don't know what's gonna happen, but it ain't gonna be anything positive.
Slasher throws the PJ cutting in the sideline for a decent game, picking up the first. Slasher with 2 passes that get knocked away by the defense. Third down, Slasher throws a buck in the middle for a decent gain. Last down on 4 rush, he throws the ace in the back of the end zone. Incomplete, turnover on downs. Never Scared is able to stop IOD for the 2nd time in a row. Their defense is looking good.
And they're gonna have to hang. They're gonna have to hang the game on their defense at this point until Fred gets here. I don't know how long they're gonna be able to hold out. The offense has to find a way to score points. I don't see it happening without Fred, but we just gonna have to see what happens and if they can figure out something. Because they need something to happen.
First down, Joel comes in to rush quarterback. This is their 3rd different quarterback. On 4 rush, runs for a decent gain. Third down, Joel gets blitzed by Gotti. Throws to Ouija in the gap. Short, incomplete. Never Scared has to punt. 3 different quarterbacks, all the same results. They cannot move the ball, and they have to give it up again.
Well, all 3 quarterbacks that played in this game are not actual quarterbacks, so you can't expect much to happen besides what's been happening in this game. Again, without Fred, I do not see them winning this game because their defense is going to be able to hold but so much, and if they can't score, I see almost no possible way that they can win.
Second down, Slasher gets blitzed by Just. Throws the Matrix cutting in the middle for a nice game, picking up the first. After 2 short plays, Slasher is blitzed and throws the ball away in the end zone. Incomplete. Never Scared is flagged for blitzing 2. Gives a replay down, which is huge because Slasher then throws to Jesus, cutting in front of the end zone. Jesus with the nice catch for the touchdown. Buckwheat gets the extra point. 9-0 going into half. You cannot give these teams opportunities. Now, it's one thing you're shorthanded, but there's no excuse for making this mistake on defense. You know your quarterback's not here. You know you got to play lights out. And to give up this foolish penalty, which gives them an extra down, and you lose your blitz. Obviously, they're going to give up points there, and they gave it up.
And in all honesty, I don't even think that they needed to blitz on that play. Sometimes you can go a drive without blitzing at all. Just lock up on defense and keep that extra defender in the secondary and lock up on that receiver. Sometimes teams got to know when not to use the blitz. It feels like they don't hear and they miscommunicate and they release a penalty that led to IOD scoring off of it.
If I'm never scared, we got to get Fred here. We have nothing without Fred. We have no team. We have no energy. We have no effort offensively without Fred. We had 3 different quarterbacks. All of them got stopped. We gave up a safety also. We're killing our defense. They eventually gave up a touchdown, and now we're down 2 possessions, 9-0. We got to turn it around. We need Fred here, or else we might as well kiss our season goodbye.
And if I'm IOD, yes, they were able to score their upper 2-possession game, but because of their defense, their upper 2-possession game. Their offense needs to put up a little more points if they want to move forward the way that they want to. I'm sure that IOD has the potential to do so. They're just not showing in this game. It looks like they're playing down to their competition.
IOD gets the ball in the second half. Second down, Slasher throws the ace in the middle for a decent game, picking up the first down. Slasher on 4 rush, throws a jet. Jesus on the sideline. Jesus with a nice catch while staying in bounds for a nice gain. Second down, Slasher gets blitzed and sacked by Just. Third down, Slasher rolls right, throw the buckwheat again for a nice gain. Slasher then finds Jesus cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Matrix gets the 2-point conversion, 17-zip, IOD.
At this point, you knew that Never Scared's defense was going to fall apart eventually, and they have it right here. IOD found some weaknesses in their defense, and Slash is exploiting it now. Now he's putting up points. Now he's rolling, and Never Scared's chances of surviving in this game are slipping away with each passing play.
Next down, Eric comes in to throw. 4 different quarterbacks. 2 short passes for a decent game, picking up the first. Eric then throws the beat in the gap. Off target, picked off by Gotti, who pitches it to Eminem, who runs it all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. 23-0 IOD.
And this is unfortunate because they don't have a quarterback, every single thing is going wrong. I can't necessarily kill any of these guys for trying to make something happen, but eventually, if you don't have a quarterback, these things happen, and that's exactly what's happening. What else is there to say?
First down, Eric is back in that quarterback. He tries to run, but is sacked. Tagged by Burt. Next down, Fred is finally here with 3 passes for a nice game, picking up the first. Third down, Fred scrambles on 4 rush with blocker from Eric and evidently runs for a decent gain. Last down, Fred on 4 rush, throws it up, out of bounds. Game's over. IOD with the blowout win. 23-0, ending Never Scared season.
And it's unfortunate that Fred came at the very last drive of the game, pretty much when it was already over. He tried to make something happen. Obviously, it didn't work. IOD was already locked into the game. They took the lead, and they weren't looking to give away anything else. It's like I said, there was but so much they could do without their quarterback here. This is a game where if you do not score, you do not win, and that's exactly what happened with Never Scared here.
Well, just to let y'all know, Fred started a new job. Schedule was changed. He had to go to work. So unless somebody's going to be willing to pay the man's bills for he can throw, I'm not going to kill him.
Yeah.
I killed them because they didn't have a backup quarterback. In the UFL, you have to have a backup quarterback. Why? Because of the curse rule. We saw all season this team had nothing without Fred throwing. You got to have a backup. There were several other guys in the league that could play backup quarterback. You know, you got Kaz from Rep City, who you could have had as a backup. Crazy could be a backup. Rudy could be a backup. There's a lot of different quarterbacks in the league that could be backup quarterbacks. You got to have a backup quarterback in this league in order to survive. If you look at Violators, Lou is at quarterback, but Yomi can throw. Carver, Chuck is at quarterback, but you also got Joey that can throw. Angel has thrown before. So you got different quarterbacks there. You have Super Friends. Dion is at quarterback, but Chino can throw. So they have a backup quarterback. You got to have a backup quarterback in this league. If you don't have a backup quarterback, you stand the one curse away from losing. Never Scared had nothing. They gave up 8 points on the offensive side of the ball with a safety and a pick 6. So their offense hurt them defensively. Defense tried to hold as long as they could, but they couldn't. So obviously you're going to give it up eventually. Now, for this team, now they're in the R&R. We saw a few this game.
Mm-hmm.
This team needs to go out to Modell's. They need to go out to Dick's. They need to go out to Sports Authority and buy some hands.
Ugh.
This team dropped more passes than anybody in the league this year. They were the worst when it came to drops. They had the most drops of anybody. And you can see him here going shopping, buying some hands. They need hands. They need hands. And they need a big play offensive player. Because who are you worrying about on this offense? Tell me somebody. Exactly. They don't have a threat offensively. So Fred, not only did he have lack of talent to throw to, when he did get them the ball, they couldn't hold on to it. So that's what this team needs. They need an offense. They got a quarterback, but they need to buy an offense. They need to buy some hands, and they need to buy a playmaker because they had none. And I blame Ed. He got his quarterback, but he never went out and addressed the issue that this team had all season long.
And eventually this was going to catch up some anyway. Okay, here in this game, Fred wasn't able to come to this game because he had to work. But the problem is, even if he was here, I'm pretty sure that the drop passes would have came back to haunt them anyway.
And he still dropped passes this game without him being
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think that was the main problem that they had because their defense was pretty good. Their defense put pressure in pretty much every game that they played. You know, a lot of their games were close. And they, like I said, they locked down when they could. They have a lot of good defensive weapons, but the offense is what matters.
They made 2 stops. You know what I mean? As their offense gave them nothing, they made 2 stops in a row. Right after they gave up a safety.
Yeah.
They made 2 defensive stops.
But again,
then they gave up a
the
touchdown.
offense, so.
I mean, obviously you're going to give up a touchdown after that. You're not going to be able to hold all day. But they gave up 2 stops. They made 2 stops after the offense, their own offense had already put them in the hole by getting the safety. So I'm not going to blame the defense. Defense played well. But offensively, they did not do nothing. Ouija didn't give them nothing this season. You know, we seen Dennis here and there. You know, Matt here and there. Mike here and there. But we have not seen anybody dominate offensively on this team, which is what cost them the season. They dropped too many passes. They didn't have any big plays, and that's what killed them this year.
And there's not much to say, but you got to give IOD credit because they came away and the second half, they buckled down and they got what they needed to do done. They didn't look great in the first half. They played down to their competition. It seems like they woke up in the second half.
I don't think they played down to their competition. Never Scared has a good defense.
No,
and
you're
their
not getting what I'm saying.
defense stopped them.
You're
I'm not going to say
saying.
they played
I'm
down
not saying,
to them.
Listen to what I'm saying. In terms of them not being able to do anything on offense, I can't only say, well, they played great defense. I think that IOD was very much slacking off on their offense.
It could have been that Never Scared played good defense.
No,
Why got to be like they was slacking?
Why can't it be both?
Nah, I think at the end of the day, Never Scared defense played well. IOD cannot do anything.
But listen to this. Listen to this. But as you move forward, it's going to get even harder.
Well, I mean, obviously, but we're not going to say that IOD
I'm not
played
taking
down.
anything. Listen, okay. Listen, you can believe that I am saying that they played down to the competition, but that's your right to have that opinion, and I have a right to have mine. And I believe that IOD is capable of beating this defense. I believe so. They have enough talent to match this defense and some. They didn't show it in the first half. They showed it in the second half. It is what it is. I mean, what else can you say? As you move forward in the season, okay, you're going to play against a tough defense. Whoop-de-doo. You got to find a way to get past it. That's their job. So, again, because they didn't do it in the first half, that shows vulnerability on their offensive side. And if they play like that moving forward, they're not going to make it to the championship game they're striving for.
They gave up 23 points. It was 23-0 that they beat Street. So I'm Never Scared, right?
Okay.
8 of those points was based on the offense, giving up a safety and running the back. That's 15 points. That's around the average.
All right.
Their defense gave up about the average that they gave up all year. So I'm not going to say that they played down to their competition. So that's why I'm going to contradict.
Well, I'm going to say this.
I'm going to contradict what you said.
Keep going.
Let's look and see what they gave up this year. They gave up 8 to YMM, 12 to Riot, 6 to Browns. Okay, 19 to Rep City, 22 to IOD. They gave up nothing to Brotherhood. They gave up 12 to 99 problems, and they gave up nothing to Dutchman. So the only 2 times they gave up more points was versus Rep City and IOD. So at the end of the day, Never Scared's defense played good this year.
Okay.
Were they a top defense? No. But their defense held twice, and if you give them some points, the momentum changes. They did not give them any points. They could not even move the ball.
So you're saying if they were able to put up points, they would win this game?
Fred is here. It's a different game.
No, but the way you're framing it is you're saying that IOD would have lost if Fred would have been able to put up points.
I think they would have lost.
So you're saying that IOD has no chance moving forward.
I didn't say that.
That's pretty much what you're saying.
I said with the 2 stops that their defense had, if Fred was here, it's a different game.
Listen, and those are some fun facts, but here's this. Are you comfortable with average? Are you comfortable with sticking to my average? Oh, I put up 2 points, 2 touchdowns, so I did my job. Am I happy with that, knowing that I'm trying to win a championship?
Nobody's happy with that.
So then that's the point.
Based on the
My
field,
issue is,
based on the field and the rules of the game, you're not going to be scoring 3 touchdowns.
But that doesn't mean that I am satisfied
Nobody's
with the
satisfied
average.
with that.
So again, so that's why I'm putting it on them. They have to put more points up if they want to move further than how they have.
Carver won 2, the first the 2 when they back-to-back won chips, right? What was score? 15-14.
Okay.
7-zip.
But can
Those
I
are
say
two.
this? But can I say this? How many times have IOD made it to the championship?
You're not
Listen,
you're not
it doesn't
listening
matter.
to my point. My
Listen.
point is I'm not taking nothing away from IOD. But what I'm stating is the fact that I don't think they play down to the competition. Never Scared is a good team. I think the fact that their defense, Never Scared has a good defense. IOD is not the top offensive team in this game. They got to play better, but don't take nothing away from Never Scared's defense.
I'm not taking away from anything.
They should have blew them out. Come
on.
on.
Did I say that they should blow them out?
That's what it sound like you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that because they weren't able to take the opportunity and put up some points, I think that this may hurt them moving forward. And if they want to make it to the championship and win it, they have to play IOD football where they're able to put up points. And I'm sure with the staff that they have, Ace back. You have Jesus playing healthy. You have Costa, a new all-star on this team, putting up points on offense. That you said was not known for offensive player. He's having an all-star year. You have Eddie, who's capable of putting up points whenever
Eddie didn't do nothing this
doesn't
year.
matter. It doesn't matter.
I don't know where you get your facts from,
Eddie
but it's wrong.
scored.
If you
He
want to
didn't
talk
score
about
9
they need
touchdowns.
Buckwheat, yes, step up. Do they need? You mentioned the big acquisition they made, Matrix.
You didn't
I don't
even give me
know.
a
You
chance
don't
to
seem
get
like
to
you
that.
know. You
You
talking
just-
about Eddie? Eddie didn't have the same season he had
It
last
doesn't
year.
matter.
He had a
It
different
doesn't
quarterback.
matter. Listen, it doesn't matter. Because he has a different quarterback, but Slasher is capable of playing at a high level, and we've seen it before.
Yes.
So, again, if he's able to play at that level, I see them going further than they have in the years previously. That's all I'm saying. We could agree to disagree, but that doesn't mean that I can't be in disagreement with you. So there it is.
Listen, you can say whatever you want, but that's what makes me the better host. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this game. You have IOD moving on. They're going to play 99 Problems. Never Scared goes home. 23-0, IOD with the win. We're going to be right back. Next game, last game we're going to talk about, Main Event versus Violators. Violators beat Main Event during the regular season, but they only beat them 14-6. So that's a scary team. You know, Main Event, they play hard. They're a team that plays tough. So if I'm Violators, I'm not coming in thinking it's easy. Yes, Lou had a good game. He threw 2 touchdown passes. You know what I mean? Bo had 1, and Teo had 2. I think they ran back a kick this game, I would like to believe. But on the other side, Steph had 1 touchdown pass, but he threw 3 picks. You're not going to win in this game when you're throwing interceptions, and interceptions killed him. He threw 1 to Bo, 1 to Mach, 1 to Yomi. So I don't think Main Event addressed their problem at quarterback. They went with Chino early in the season, Steph late in the season. I think Steph is a more athletic quarterback than Sonny, but he has not taken them to the next level, which is why they brought him here. Remember, Sonny started the season, and then they had Steph to pick up the rest of the season. Steph is not taking them to the next level like they thought he would. And Violators have to put the team away early. If they keep it close, they could lose this game.
The thing about the Violators is they play much lower than their potential like heights. I believe that this team can play at a much higher level. It's up to them to show how talented they are. They have a lot of playmakers now. They have Lou that's able to stretch the field, and you have receivers like Bo and White on each side that's able to stretch downfield. That's not something they had last year. They have it now. Now you have Macho, who is a capable receiver in his own right now. One person that we didn't say that before in the past. You have to look out for him. You have Yomi having an all-star year yet again. You have Nomar having a good year defensively.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys are stepping up this year. Hopefully they play at the caliber they're known for. Otherwise, these close games are not going to cut it moving forward.
We're going to jump right into the game. Main event drives to the 20-yard line in 4 plays. Steph is starting off good, moving the ball. Third down, he's blitzed by Yomi. Throws to Mamba, cutting in the end zone for the touchdown. Steph runs the ball in for the extra point, which is a penalty, lost it down, but it's still 6-zip. Steph starting off early, finding Mamba. Mamba's an all-star. Great play by the main event.
And that is a good way to start. He was able to drive downfield in 4 passes. He's able to, pinpoint where he has to go and chop up the field. He finds Mamba in the end zone. I think there was a drawback in the extra point. They have to remind him, since he hasn't been here on a regular, since Sonny has been quarterbacking half the season. You got to remind Steph that you can't run in the extra point. Hopefully that doesn't hurt them in the future. But 6 points is not bad starting the game.
After 2 short passes in the first down, Lou throws a Macho in the gap. Macho cuts inside, runs all the way to the 4-yard line. The question was Macho tagged when he caught the ball?
And I look at this play, and I think that it's very close. It's hard to see definitely if he was tagged.
Right.
So again, the play would have to stand with the ref's call, because I'm blowing it up, and it's still hard to determine because of the angle of where the tag happened.
Right.
It's hard to see if he was tagged here. But the play stands. That is a big play for Violators. Hopefully, it could take advantage of it.
Lou finds Bop cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Great throw by Lou. Great catch by Bop. 6'6". Bop, a.k.a. Teo, with the touchdown, 6 up.
And Bop steps up in this game. We haven't heard him too much in this season, but he's always a capable receiver, and Lou's able to find him here, ending the drive with a touchdown, score right back. Now they're right back into this game, and they're in a fighting mood. This can go either way.
Second down, Steph on 4 rush, throws a Mamba wide open on the sideline. Mamba loses balance, incomplete. Next pass is incomplete, main event will have to punt. After a short pass, Lou throws deep to White, just overthrown. Third down, Lou gets blitzed by Mamba, throws deep to Dev, short and picked off by my man Buto. G gets flagged for holding, penalties decline, and give the ball back to main event. Great pickoff by Buto. I love this guy's name.
And I think even though you saw that the pressure was coming, and G had no choice there but to hold Mamba, and that was enough pressure to make Lou throw an inaccurate pass here. That's a key play right here. If they keep doing this, I think Lou has some problems, because it starts again right here with an interception.
Steph rolls left and throws to Mamba on the sideline for a nice game, picking up the first down. Last down before half, Steph throws it up, incomplete, takes us into the half, 6-6 high game. If I'm main event, I'm okay. I'm not panicking. Steph is looking like the old Steph. He's rolling around in the pocket. We only got 6 points, but I know if we can keep the pressure on Lou, it's going to give Steph more opportunities on our offense, and we can score points. We just got to keep the firepower, keep it going straight.
I'm shocked. If I'm Violators, I got to know to keep Lou safe in the pocket. G is there for that. He's the reigning block of the year. He has to know where the blitz is coming from. He can't let Lou get pressured like this, because when Lou gets pressured, he doesn't always make the most accurate throws. You saw there with the interception. If they don't fix that, you're going to see more of that moving forward in the game. Hopefully they can lock that down.
Second down, Lou throws to Teo in the middle for a nice gain. Lou with 2 passes for a decent gain. Last down, Lou on 4 rush scrambles, throws the ball in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 12-6. The question was Lou tagged before the throw?
If you look here, it looks like as the rush is coming in, he dives at Lou. Lou goes to dodge the tag, and it looks like the one hand whiffs on the shirt. Is that enough for a tag? I'm not a ref, but I don't think that that's enough for a tag.
Would you have challenged it?
I think I would have tried to challenge it.
I would have challenged
Maybe this could go my way. It's too close.
And they threw a touchdown. So
yes.
I'm challenging it, because the worst that can happen is I lose the challenge and they get the touchdown. So I'm going I would challenge you.
I mean, it's the second half. I mean, what else would you use the challenge for? Plays like this, that's what it's for. And I'm going to take my chances. If I lose a timeout, listen, the game is close. I have 2 more timeouts. We didn't really use any yet. So I'm going to take my chances and see if this works out for me.
Well, if they don't, and it's 12-6. After getting the first down, Steph on 4 rush, runs for a decent gain. After shoots 2 short passes, last down, Steph throws it up in the end zone, incomplete, turnover on downs. Next drive, Lou with blocker from G, runs for a decent gain. Third down, Lou throws to White on the sideline for a decent gain. After getting the first down, they run the ball a little more to kill the clock, and they end up punting the ball. Steph gets the ball back. He throws a Mamba in the gap for a nice gain. Third down, Steph on 4 rush, throws a Puto in the middle, broken up by Bo. Time runs out. Violators come away to win 12-6.
This was a close game, but I believe that this game didn't have to be close. I think that the Violators missed a lot of opportunities to put this game away early in the game, and they kept main event in the game. Regardless of what, I can't say that I would be satisfied with that play.
Right.
Even though I won this game, I know that they could have did better, and this is not a way that you're going to survive in the playoffs moving forward, because the teams are going to get that much harder. They have to play better than this. They have to put up more points than what they did in this game.
Well, if first of all, let me talk about main event. Main event went with 2 quarterbacks, and with the 2 quarterbacks, they went Sonny and Steph. They do a combined 7 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and was sacked 8 times. What? You got 2 quarterbacks, and none of them were able to do nothing. They threw a combined 7 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 8 times sacked. So they got to first of all, if this team going into the offseason, the team R&R is, so I think what they need to do is they need to go shopping. So you see somebody there, one of the guys with the grocery list. If you look on the list, they need to decide who's their quarterback. That's the first thing. Number 2, they need to find out, they need to get more talent. See on the list, number 2. And number 3, they need to get used to they need to know the UFL rules, because they attempted to run the ball in on the extra point, which kind of hurt them. So they need to go shopping, get that grocery list. As you can see us in the supermarket, a few guys with them, and they need to get their supplies, and maybe they can compete better next year.
And hopefully that'll be enough, but they need a lot of improvement. I think that the key here is that they were not ready for the 4 rush. They
weren't ready for the UFL.
They weren't. And I'm not saying that they're a bad team.
No, they're not. They're a good team.
Yes, they just weren't ready for a lot of things that the UFL requires, like being ready for the 4 rush. Obviously one of the faster rushes in TFL. Some leagues have a 5 rush. And 1 second makes a difference.
It does.
It makes a big difference, especially when a blitz is coming in from either side. It could come from anywhere.
And it's not like LES. LES, you got to be outside of 5 yards away in order to blitz. UFL is a different animal.
Yes.
They could come to the line. They could come
to the line.
Anywhere.
They can fake.
They don't have somebody else. They don't have to yell out blitz either.
Listen, we've seen guys blitz from the corner and been effective and catch and pretty much blindside the quarterback. So it's something you got to be prepared for, and I think that's one of the things that made both of these quarterbacks struggle in this league so far. I think that if they start off with that, if they're able to make more time for themselves and settle for getting the ball up before 4 rush, I think that that'll be an improvement that you will definitely see a difference with the team.
So that's what this team can compete. This team had just joined the league, and I think they took a step above a lot of teams that's already been here or former teams that was here that left. This is a good, solid team. They need to just focus on the UFL. They was focused on LES, a lot of other leagues, so I understand that. But if they could focus on this league, this team can make noise. Now, Violators if Violators play today, if they play Carver the way they play main event, they're going to lose. They're going to get blown out.
Yeah.
They're going to get ran out of the field. They cannot afford to play this way.
No.
This game was close. And main event could have won this game had they made a few more plays.
And the thing about it starts with Lou. I think that Lou's decision-making matters and how they move forward. He's going to be facing Chuck and Carver Mob. It's pretty much And do I have to say it? The father versus son matchup. That's what's coming up. And I'm sure that Lou is motivated to win this game more than any other. But at the same time, you got to do it by your decision making and your accuracy on the field. It's all on you. You are where this team has to hang their hat on. They have to hang it on you. And you got to be prepared for this pressure, because if you don't play well, this team loses. I don't think we're going to have any debate between each other. I think that he has to have a good game if they're going to move past Carver.
All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Great time. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. The show will get a little more detail next week. It's only 4 games, so we can do a little more of what we do. And I'm excited for the next round. Some big games. 99 IOD, Riot Squad versus Rep City. Carver versus Violators, them Getters versus Super Friends. So we're going to have to be prepared for that. Hopefully y'all guys are ready. So we're going to wrap this show up. Also, our video should be up next week. Let's get this party started, guys. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. In here, you going to sing? Let's get it started.
But get ready to sing, because that's exactly what you're going to be doing.
Listen, he'll be singing at the All-Star game.
No, but you were comfortable singing, so there
Let's
you go.
get it started in here. We're going to wrap this up. I'm out of here. Stephen J. behalf of Ghost. Real Tough Talk. We're out of here. We'll see y'all next week. Real Tough Talk. We're out.